So I know one of the ones that you've had a lot of success with and has really kind of pushed the mark is on purchase order processing. So I actually came to you for help with one of those earlier last week. So why don't you share a little bit about purchase order processing and some of the successes that the Invoke side has seen on that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate it. So the idea here, as you said, is increasing the value to our customers. So we always are trying to think about how do we speed up the ability to deploy these solutions to our customers. And, we're in the automation business, so we should be looking at automating a lot of the work that gets around, deploying these things. And so that's really what the backdrop of all this is. And so purchase orders is one of these areas that can either sit in finance or in supply chain, depending on what type of industry that you're in. But it's kind of the lifeblood of the organization. You get orders in from customers who want to buy your products or services. And there's a number of things that go on in your organization to get a purchase order and get it all the way processed through. And it can be quite complex, right? I mean, if you're a software company, maybe you get an order for a software license key and you can just issue the license key and you're done. Yay. If you're a services company, well, now you have to figure out what are these services and who's going to do that? What's the timeline? When can I free up people? So it gets a little bit more and more complex. Well, when you're in manufacturing, you actually have to figure out, can I produce these goods, right? And by when can I produce them? Do I have the actual raw materials? What does my production schedule look like? So it can become pretty gnarly because the purchase order says, I want these goods at this time, and you need to figure all this out. And so there's an entire process that happens between somebody wanting something that you have to offer and you actually being able to execute on it. And in the meantime, in between, there's a lot of moving pieces, right? I have to keep the client up to date. I'm figuring out how, can I deliver these goods and all these things? And I have to probably keep a very close communication loop because maybe that client can go somewhere else if they're not confident in me delivering on it. And internally, operationally, I have to go get the wheels in motion to make sure that we can deliver on it and we can schedule it. And so really from the intake process of a purchase order coming in, which is usually extracted from a client's finance system. So it could be in any type of format. It could be an email, a PDF attachment, whatever it may be, all the way down to getting this into your back-end systems and working with all the departments to make sure that everything that you're approving is actually doable. That process can take quite a bit of time and money. And not only is it great from a customer experience if you speed that up, but the faster that you can get to an approved point and that things get into motion, the more efficient your actual production line runs, right? Because now you know when you're going to produce these things, when to order goods and all of those things. Just think about the current supply chain issues that we have. Knowing what raw materials you have to order by when, that's a big issue, right? And the faster you can get that organized, the better you can actually deliver on your promises. So that whole process has been incredibly valuable for any of those industries that we mentioned, but particularly in the current supply chain challenge world, the manufacturing industry is just loving the fact that we can automate this to a large degree.